An old Image favorite comes back after so many years. Hey guys, we got some new news for you today. Let's see, this in the realm of comics. And well, this is actually kind of a pleasant surprise because love him or hate him, whether you love the way he draws his feet or not. Sorry, Rob. It's a funny joke. Come on, you know it. This from the Hollywood Reporter. Rob Liefeld returning to Youngblood. This is quite the shocker because if you know anything about what's been going on with Rob Liefeld in the comic industry and Youngblood and kind of like how he ended up losing his characters, well, it looks like he has them back again. So, yeah, Rob Liefeld returning to Youngblood. The comic creator will write and illustrate a new series after 7 years away from the property, which is awesome. This is one of the first books. This is actually the first book that Image put out when the Big Seven left Marvel so many years ago, and this was the first book. I had the first book, and this is what started my admiration for all the guys over at Image. And yeah, it was the first book that I ended up getting, and because of that, I ended up getting every Image comic that came out for, like, I believe the first 5 6 years until they were stolen, which broke my heart. But man, I couldn't get enough of Youngblood. I just love the art style in it, and it was just so different. And because I'd followed Rob Liefeld in New Mutants and some of the other stuff that he did after that, like X Force and Hawk and Dove with DC, and man, I just couldn't get enough. And I think the one episode that really, or not one episode, but one comic that really grabbed me of his artwork was the issue that he did for Atlantis Attacks. So I thought, wow, this is like really different. I really love it. So, but he's coming back, and he's going back to Image. So in the article by the Hollywood Reporter, it says comic book creator Rob Liefeld is plotting a return to the property that helped launch his post-Marvel career more than 30 years ago. Liefeld will return to write and illustrate a Youngblood title for Image Comics, which will publish the book next year. It marks his first work on the property in 7 years, and he's working with Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, who oversees the property for rights holder Rip Media Incorporated. And he quotes, "It's so great that I can run into the comfort of the characters that I created that launched a movement. They carry such a history. I love Youngblood so much. These characters are my absolute passion," said Rob Liefeld. And it goes on. Youngblood came after Liefeld created breakout hits for Marvel, including Deadpool, Cable, and X-Force. And then in 92, he and other top creators departed Marvel to launch Image, which at that time, I suppose you could say, created the comic book rock star, I suppose you could say, in their day. Youngblood launched Image Comics and became the first title outside of Marvel or DC to bow at #1 and sell more than 1 million copies. And it's sold. If you didn't grab one, then man, you missed out at that time. The original Youngblood miniseries ultimately sold 25 million copies globally, and the property has spanned 100 issues, counting top talents such as Robert Kirkman, Alan Moore, and Mark Miller as contributors. So in addition to the new series, Image will publish Youngblood Vault Edition, featuring high-res scans of the original art from the first Youngblood series, collected in a deluxe oversized hardcover. There will also be a facsimile edition of Youngblood #1, timed to its 33rd anniversary in April 2025. So you know what, folks? If you still have an original copy of Youngblood, my God, you better keep it in mint. So because we all know generally what happens to comics, once characters come back and stuff like that. So Rob and I are a fantastic team, and I'm as excited now for Youngblood's relaunch as I was in 1992 for its initial launch, said Rosenberg, adding, I'm excited to bring them to audiences old and new with their original creator, Rob Liefeld. There you go, folks. Image's first number one comic coming back after so many years. And like I said, you know what? Love him or hate him, Rob Liefeld has been, pretty influential when it comes to the world of comics. So, this guy is a comic historian guru. He just loves the artists, loves the writers, loves the inkers, the colorists, like everybody that's pretty much in the industry. I mean, let's face it. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have three Deadpool movies right now. Just saying. So, but I, for one, am actually, pretty excited for this. So, this is a great thing that's going to be happening, and I think I'm a little titillated to get this brand new number one coming out next year, just as much as I wanted that Youngblood number one way, way back in the early 90s. So, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments there. Hit the like button. And if you're new here, subscribe. It kind of helps me out to keep on going. So, anyway, this is the Comic Relief Crusader. Get reading.